David, welcome again to my den down here in my whiskey collection. Today we're going to talk about Buffalo Trace, the brand and the bourbon. So stick with me and let's learn a little bit about this brand and my first taste of it together. So the Buffalo Trace Distillery is down in Frankfort, Kentucky, and it's owned by the Sazerac Company. I hope I say that right. Sazerac. And the distillery's been known by several different names prior to Buffalo Trace. It was the George T. Stagg Distillery and the Old Fashioned Copper Distillery. Sazerac claims that this is one of the oldest continuously run distilleries in Kentucky. And the company says that the name Buffalo Trace refers to an ancient buffalo crossing on the banks of the Kentucky River in Franklin County, Kentucky. And they've been the owners of this distillery since 1992. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I have seen Buffalo Trace quite regularly in stores until my friend Dan back in November told me to try it. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. Couldn't find it anywhere. So, looking, and apparently Buffalo Trace has distribution problems. I don't know why, but they do. But now it's achieved in my brain this fabled cult-like status of probably the finest bourbon ever made, which we're going to find out in a couple of minutes what I think of it. But I ended up, back in May, my wife and I went down to Kentucky for our first post-pandemic trip and went to a liquor store and couldn't find it. Went to another liquor store, couldn't find it. Went to the distillery, but of course it was Kentucky Derby weekend, and we went first thing Friday morning as we're about to head back home. And there was a line of about 300 people out in the front waiting to get in. Parking lot was jammed. I asked one of the employees on parking lot duty if I could just get into the gift shop, and she said that line is for the gift shop because people are lining up to get a commemorative Derby bottle of bourbon. I was like, forget it. I'm not gonna do it. It can't be worth it. We'll find out in a couple of minutes if it's worth the hype. But, so my wife said, David, why don't we check a liquor store close to the distillery? They're bound to have a bottle or two. So, we're driving up this mountain road on one of the highways, passing by a gas station, and I look, and behind the gas station's a liquor store, so I turn around, go in, ask the little 92-year-old lady who's stocking the shelves if they had any Buffalo Trace. And she's looking at me cross-eyed. So the lady behind the counter, who was much younger, was like, oh, there's some on this shelf here. They had a dozen bottles. So I picked up 2 bottles then. And then a few weeks ago when we were on our road trip, coming back up through Kentucky, stopped by a Kroger, and they had about 6 or 7 cases of Buffalo Trace that they were beginning to unpack. So I grabbed a bottle then and there. So, got 3 bottles on my shelf. I'm going to open one of these bottles. And, you know, even their email address, there's hype. Their email address is greatbourbon@buffalotrace.com. So I think they're advertising themselves that this is the good stuff. They do make Weller, which I sampled in my first video. In fact, I might just grab that and do a little comparison between the two. They also, if I remember right, they make the McAfee benchmark. Yep, they do. Done by Buffalo Trace. So they do quite a few different brands at the distillery. And this is 90 proof Buffalo Trace. So let's get down to it, shall we? And see what I think. So here we go. Let's see if it's worth the hype and all the fuss. Let's see if I can get this thing going. There we go. I feel guilty opening this because, I mean, you can't find it anywhere. Oh, that came off. Alright. Uncorking. Smells like bourbon. Alright, I brought down the Weller, so can't smell much of the Weller. Anyway, yes, I am trying to pad out the video a little bit. Let's see here. Ooh. Oh. Wow. It's got quite the bite at the end. Tastes a bit harsh to me. It has a harsh taste to it. I gotta try a little bit more. I mean, it has this harsh at the end. Wow. I hate to say it, Buffalo Trace, but does not live up to the hype. I mean, that's, I think, got the first two bottles, well, actually, all three bottles. I know the last bottle I got at the Kroger, she said was like 24 bucks. I think the other two at that smaller liquor store were $30 each. But I don't think in Kentucky it's regulated like it is here, so you're going to pay different prices. Let's just say it. I think here in Ohio it's like a $30 bottle. Now let's try a little of the Weller weeded bourbon. It's always good to have a little sip of this. That's a lot smoother. If Buffalo Trace marketed the Weller under their name, under the Buffalo Trace name, it'd be worth the hype and this thing that they got going on. I'm wondering if the distribution problems make it more desirable. I don't know. But you know what? Buffalo Trace, it's nice to have. Doesn't live up to the hype. Very Old Barton to me. I'm going to go back to Very Old Barton, which you can't get outside Kentucky. And that's a $12 bottle. Much better than the Buffalo Trace. Weller's much better. Heck, the JTS Brown Bottled in Bond 100 proof is better than this Buffalo Trace. So I'm sorry to say, I mean, on par with a Jim Beam white label to me. It's just not, it's not doing it for me. It's nice to have, it's nice to display on my shelf, and it'll be nice to kick back with some friends and share some, but I'm not going out of my way to find it. I'll hold on to it and I'll enjoy it, but in my opinion, there's much better, less expensive whiskeys out there. I mean, things I'm going to review later, but I can tell you right now, Redneck Riviera is $22 a bottle. You can find it. It's really good stuff. Maker's Mark, to me, is much better, much smoother than Buffalo Trace. So I'm sorry, Buffalo Trace people, it just doesn't do it for me. So anyway, hype is over. My expectations have been let down, but that's usually what happens when, you know, the bar is set up here. You're expecting the bar, I mean, to be expecting it to be higher than the bar. Buffalo Trace is down here. Again, to me, go for the Jim Beam white label. That's what I would go with as opposed to this. So anyway, that's my opinion. That's my view. Take it for what it's worth. So until next time, it's David, and hope to see you next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel for future whiskey reviews, and hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot.